The movie opens with an end-of-semester college party in which a pretty Indian girl is having a lot of fun. Her name's Alia Kapoor and she's a 19-year-old rich girl who is studying to become a doctor like her father. She has a very strict family of first-generation Indian immigrants who came to the US to have more opportunities in life. Her family is all about money, luxury, and appearances, something that annoys Alia to her core. She's a simple-minded girl. She loves partying with her friends and chilling out. She despises going to her parents' fancy parties with all the rich Indian families that they know. Now that summer has arrived, she knows that as soon as she arrives home, she has to obey her parents and do what they want. For that reason, she wants to have as much fun as she can before she goes home. At the party, she gets drunk and cuts her hair short. The following day, she wakes up late with her best friend, Neha, calling her. Alia has a massive hangover and her will to stay alive is non-existent. Neha tells her to get ready because her mother is already planning many parties for her to attend. The objective of the parties is to flounce their wealth and find prospects for an arranged marriage for the youngsters. Alia is not looking forward to any of that, especially not seeing her mother, Sheila, again. She doesn't have a good relationship with her because she's too strict and fake. Before she hangs up, Neha mentions that their childhood friend, and Alia's former crush, Rayol, is going to be there too. When she hangs up, Alia notices that her mother sent a bunch of messages to her telling her to behave and not embarrass herself or her family. Alia rolls her eyes and takes a deep breath before leaving. Despite not having a good relationship with her mother, Alia gets along well with her father, Dr. Ranjit Kapoor. Ranjit is more laid back than Sheila, and he enjoys hearing Alia ranting about the parties and the aunties she hates. He finds Alia funny and refreshing. She's the opposite of Sheila. When he mentions college, Alia heatedly tells him that she's a straight-A student and she wants to have fun during summer. It's good enough for Ranjit that Alia is doing well in college. When they arrive home, Sheila criticizes Alia and informs her that they are going to a party that same day. She doesn't hug Alia or ask how she's doing. Alia is hurt by her mother's lack of interest in her life beyond her flaws. Sheila criticizes everything that Alia does, and it only fuels Alia's desire to rebel. She wants to make her mother purposefully annoyed. Alia goes to her room already dreading the evening, but there's nothing she can do about it. Their neighborhood is filled with rich Indians that love flaunting their wealth. Alia grew up watching people pretending to like each other at those parties, and she often has to wear a mask of pleasantness that she despises. The only perk of the parties is meeting her childhood friends, Neha and Rayol. Neha looks beautiful in her sari and she compliments Alia's too. Alia looks very pretty in her brand new rose gold sari, but all that she wishes for are her jeans and t-shirts. As they walk around the party, Alia observes her father laughing with his friends, discussing business, and drinking scotch. Her mother is with her fake friends, hearing them gossip about someone less fortunate than them. Alia meets two girls that she doesn't like, and she has to give them fake smiles and platitudes. It's all a big dramatic play and they are the characters. While she's taking a picture with people she doesn't like, her friend Rayol approaches with a smirk. Rayol is a handsome young man, smart, but a bit of a womanizer. He and Alia are close and Rayol has a crush on her, though she doesn't know it. Alia enjoys spending time with Rayol. He's fun and he hates the parties as much as she does. One of the aunties approaches them and wonders if she should get ready for the wedding. The comment makes Alia's skin crawl because she knows she's of age to get married and Rayol would be a good suitor. She likes him well enough but she doesn't want to marry like her parents. In an arranged marriage. The following day, Alia is trying to relax in the pool when her father asks her to go to the Indian market to buy biscuits for her mother. They are going to throw a party on the weekend and Alia isn't thrilled about it. She's tired of parties already. There are new owners at the market and Alia notices. The new family name is Dutta and they have recently moved to town. The oldest son of the family is Varun, and as soon as Alia sees him, she can't take her eyes off him. He also notices her and starts fumbling when he talks to her. His mother tells him to help Alia with the biscuits and they start making small talk. She finds out that he's going to study at UCLA, the same university she attends. She can't believe her luck. Not knowing how to ask for his phone number, not in front of his family, she decides to invite the Dutta family to her family's party on the weekend. She tells them it would be good for them to know some people, not that she cares about that. What she really wants is to have the opportunity to see Varun again. The family accepts the invitation, thinking it's going to be a small get-together and Alia doesn't clarify that it's a huge, fancy party. When she returns home and tells Sheila she invited the owners of the market, her mother gets angry. She's elitist and doesn't want poor people at her party. Alia can't believe her mother can be so snobbish and starts arguing with Sheila. Ranjit breaks their argument before Alia says something she might regret, and Alia storms out to her bedroom. Later on, they go on a run and Ranjit calmly scolds Alia saying that she shouldn't have invited the shopkeepers to the party without telling them. Alia admits that she wasn't thinking clearly when she invited them because her mind was stuck on Varun. She gets a bit worried about the reception they were going to receive, but she brushes it off. The day of the party arrives and the guests arrive in their expensive cars and bikes. Everyone is dressed up to the nines. The men are wearing smart suits and the women are wearing jewelry and beautiful saris. Alia is also gorgeous with her new sari and jewelry that complement her features perfectly. Sheila is the perfect hostess, moving around the room and greeting the guests with freshly made samosas. When the Dutta family arrives, wearing their simple clothing and well-worn shoes, they can't believe their eyes. They thought it was going to be a small party, but everyone is dressed as if they are going to a red carpet event. Alia sees them and goes to greet them with a big welcoming smile. She doesn't mind that their clothes aren't expensive or that Saran's mother, Bhairavi, isn't wearing custom-made jewelry. She's happy that they came, especially Saran. She welcomes them and takes them to meet her parents. First, she introduces Saran's father, Kamlesh, to Ranjit. Her father looks at the man from top to bottom and finds him lacking. Alia doesn't notice the discomfort on Saran's parents' faces. She leaves Kamlesh with the other men and takes Bhairavi to meet her mother. Bhairavi is surprised when she sees Sheila. She recognizes her from their time in college, years back. Sheila is shocked to see Bhairavi, especially when the woman hugs her in front of everyone. Her instinct to defuse the situation is to pretend she doesn't know Bhairavi, but when the woman starts mentioning facts about her life, she can't keep the pretense. She snobbishly asks Bhairavi to forgive her because it's been a long time and she didn't recognize her. She acts as if she's better than Bhairavi and it hurts her deeply. Bhairavi quickly understands that Sheila isn't the same woman that she knew back in Delhi and excuses herself. Alia is ashamed of her mother's behavior, treating Bhairavi as if she was better than her only because she has money. She's also curious about her mother's past and how she never mentioned that she studied at the University of Delhi. After watching her mother humiliate Bhairavi, Alia takes Varan to a corner to talk to him. She comments that it was a weird interaction between their mothers and doesn't notice that Varan is upset. From the moment they entered her house, people were snubbing them and treating them as if they had some sort of disease. Alia doesn't realize it because she's part of that world and used to it. Rahul sees them and interrupts their conversation. Alia happily introduces them to each other, and their dislike is instant. Rahul is a playboy while Varan is a dork. Their personalities are completely different, and they are interested in the same girl. Rahul wonders if his family is catering for the party and Varan replies that Alia invited them. They start exchanging sarcastic comments with each other, and Alia loves that Varan can keep up with Rahul's acerbic tone. Meanwhile, Saran's parents are completely excluded from the party. His father's disregarded by the older men because he isn't rich or a doctor. His mother tries talking to some of the other women, but they leave as soon as she sits down. It's painful to watch. When Alia and Varan are alone at last, they almost kiss and Alia decides to take him to her room. Rahul notices them leaving and follows. When they are at the top of the stairs, Alia sees something that will be ingrained in her memory for a long time. Her father is making out heavily with Rahul's mother, Lata, in the corridor that leads to her bedroom. She stands there static, not knowing what to do. Rahul arrives there too, takes a look at the situation, turns around, and leaves. Saran has no idea what to do. Alia is so shocked that she can't do anything and leaves them be. Still, she can't stop thinking about it and the fact that her father is being unfaithful to her mother. It's traumatizing to her. The next morning, she tries talking to Rahul about the situation, but he never answers her back. She can't act normally in her house, and whenever she looks at her father, she feels furious. She's so angry that she sends Neha a text to meet her at the park and tries to leave. Her mother wants her to have breakfast with her family, but she can't stand being in the same room as her father. At the park, she tells Neha what happened and Neha advises her to let it go. It's not the first time something like that happens in the families, and it's only going to be worse if she says anything. Alia is afraid that if she tells her mother and they get a divorce, her siblings are going to have shared custody. She doesn't want that for them, but she also doesn't think it's fair for her father to keep lying. In the meantime, Sheila is having her Sunday drink with her friends and she listens to them stoically. It's always the same spiel, gossiping about other women and families, and she never enjoyed it. She pretends she does to be included, but she knows that if something happens in her family, they are going to gossip behind her back. It's not a true friendship, but the one she had with Bhairavi was. Seeing her again was a surprise, and she can't help and remember how close they used to be. Bhairavi would never gossip about other women like that. She's too honest. Not for the first time in her life, Sheila is ashamed of what she has become. When Alia comes back home, her father is there and tries talking to her. She's angry again and her father is confused as to why she's treating him so coldly. Alia can't take it anymore and tells him that she saw him with Lata at the party. Ranjit pretends not to know what she's talking about, but Alia witnesses the whole thing. She accuses him of cheating and Sheila arrives right at this moment. To Alia's shock, her mother tells her to stay out of their business, and that what happens in their marriage stays between them. Alia can't believe that her mother would accept her father's disgusting behavior. It's despicable. As for Ranjit, he's embarrassed that he's being put on the spot like that. Sheila orders Alia to go upstairs and she goes. Alia is mad that her parents have a fake marriage. She thought they at least loved each other. After all, they had 3 children together. To know that it's all a lie hurts more than she cares to admit. Of all the falsities in her world, she didn't expect to find out that she came out of one. Unbeknownst to Alia, Sheila isn't happy about the situation either. It's humiliating for her that her daughter found out about her husband's affair. She already knew he cheated on her, and it isn't the first time. Their marriage was arranged when they were young under strenuous circumstances. She tries to be the perfect wife and mother, but it isn't enough. She fears that if she says something, she's going to be excluded like so many other women were. Her fake friends would be the first to point fingers and laugh at her disgrace. That's why she pretends not to know anything and keeps pushing forward. Alia's relationship with her father isn't good after she finds out that he cheats on her mom. She starts spending less time at home and more with Varun. They start dating and sleeping together, and it's everything that Alia needed. Varun isn't vapid like some of the people she knows. He's a dork, but he's nice and funny, and he genuinely likes her. Spending time with him is the perfect distraction from her family problems. While she's making out with him in his bedroom, her phone rings and it's Rayal. She thinks he's finally calling because he wants to talk about the affair, but he wants to know if she's going to a party one of their friends is throwing. Alia is frustrated that he doesn't take the situation seriously and wants to sweep it under the rug. Rayal explains that he doesn't want to know about what his mother does in her spare time. He thinks it's disgusting. Alia stops pestering him and tells him that she's going to the party. She invites Saran, but he can't go because he has to work. After talking to Rayal, she and Saran go to the kitchen to eat something. On the way, she sees a picture of Saran's family looking so happy that she feels jealous. She asks him if his parents' marriage was arranged, and he denies it. Bhairavi and Kamlesh met during college and fell in love with each other. The marriage came naturally after. Alia confesses that her parents' wedding was arranged and that it's still common in her society. She's afraid she's going to end up like her parents, old and bitter about their choice of spouse. She's also curious about her mother in college and would like to talk to Bhairavi about it. They continue talking, and Alia notices there are many books in Saran's house. She's surprised that they are real books because, at home, the books are all fake. Saran can't believe that they buy fake books to decorate, and mentions that she's caught up in her own strange world. Alia knows it well. Everything is fake, from the smiles during parties to the happy marriages. At the party, Alia is bored to tears. She always liked to party and have fun, but it suddenly lost its appeal. She sees everyone around her as fake and she's tired of it. Rayal notices she's not having fun and leaves the two girls he's hanging out with to talk to her. The girls are the same ones who hate Alia, and they aren't happy Rayal left them for her. Rayal asks when Alia started hanging out with Varun, and instead of replying, she questions why he wants to forget about his mother's affair with her father. Rayal explains that when they go to college again, everything is going to be the same. He doesn't want to worry about something out of his control, so he lets it go. It's a hard pill to swallow, but Alia understands his reasons. While they are talking to each other, the two girls take a picture of them that make it seem as if they are together. As the days go by, Alia gets tired of her family pretty quickly. One day, she decides to snoop on her mother's things, to try and find out something about her past. She wears her mother's heels and finds a box filled with receipts and cigarettes. She didn't even know her mother smoked. There are so many pieces in the puzzle that is her mother, and Alia is eager to figure it out. The next piece is the most interesting one. She finds a picture of her mother and a group of women, all of them bald. Behind the picture, there's a description with the woman's name and the Society for Women's Equality. Alia notices that Bhairavi is sitting close to her mother in the picture. Curious, she goes after her mother in the garden to ask her about the picture. Sheila takes one look at Alia and starts talking about another party they are going to attend. She tells Alia that she wants her to be on her best behavior, with her mouth shut and acting nice. Alia gives up on asking her mother anything and leaves. Seeing the picture makes Alia realize that she knows nothing about Sheila or her parents' wedding. Her mother is the perfect model of a submissive woman, so she has no idea how she could have fought for equality one day. It doesn't make any sense. She meets Varun and shows him the picture. One of her mother's friends is there shopping, and when she sees Alia with Varun, she stays close to catch something to gossip about. Alia notices and starts making inappropriate comments until the woman leaves. When they are alone again, Alia wonders if Bhairavi would talk to her, and Saran thinks she would. As she's waiting for her turn to pay, her mother's friend makes snide comments to Bhairavi about Saran's education, and this time Bhairavi doesn't keep quiet. She tells the woman that she's proud of her family and they work hard to have a good life. The woman humiliates her by pointing out that someone needs to work hard for rich people. Alia is ashamed that her mother's friend would say something so mean to a woman that did nothing to her. Bhairavi is so hurt that she excuses herself from the cashier, and Varun takes her place. He's angry that some random rich woman thinks she has the right to humiliate her mother just because she has money. It's despicable. Back at home, Sheila is watching TV when she sees news about protests in India. It reminds her of when she was the one protesting for her rights. It felt good to fight for what she thought was right. She suddenly remembers her place and the fact that she has a role to play now, and changes the channel. She goes to her balcony to smoke, and Alia catches her in the act. She quickly turns around to hide in her bedroom. Later on, after everyone went to bed, Alia decides to watch her parents interact when they are alone. She wants to know if they love each other at least a bit. What she sees is painful. Her father keeps talking about golf while her mother tries to tell him important things, like her brother's dentist appointment. Her father acts as if her mother is invisible, and it bothers Alia a lot. She was always closer to her father than her mother, thinking he was the cool parent, but she can see clearly now that she was wrong. Her father is selfish and only thinks about himself. His mother has to take care of everyone and no one takes care of her. When her father leaves her mother after receiving a message, Sheila gets angry and throws his dishes on the floor. She knows he's going out to see his mistress. She hates that he's lying to her, that he doesn't care a bit about her feelings. Alia watches as her mother holds back tears of frustration and picks up the pieces of broken glass. There's another party and Alia is tired of it all. She watches her parents pretending to be happy and she can't stop her glare when Raoul's mother greets her. She overhears the owner of the house complaining to his wife about the lack of food and telling her to go to the kitchen to get more. Alia angrily snaps that he's capable of going and grabbing it himself. The wife quickly stands and goes to the kitchen so the husband isn't angry at her. Alia scoffs at the man, not believing how blind she has been this entire time. She was always complaining about her mother and the aunties, not realizing that there was a big issue there. She goes to the bathroom to take some time for herself and even there she has no peace. She overhears a group of women talking about her father cheating on her mother. They talk as though it's Sheila's fault that he's cheating on her. Alia can't bear it any longer. She rushes out of the bathroom and tells each woman about the problems with their own family. Then, she grabs Neha and asks if she told anyone about her father's affair. She promises she didn't, and implies that Varun might have told someone. Neha feels sorry for Alia and tells her that soon people are going to be gossiping about something else. Alia's frustrated with her parents and the mask they wear in front of everyone. The following weekend, they are going to throw their anniversary party and it's ridiculous that they are going to celebrate a fake marriage. What she doesn't understand is how her mother went from being a feminist protesting for equality to a housewife who knows her husband cheats. Alia is so sick and tired of parties that she leaves and goes running barefoot to Varun's house. Neha and Raoul think she may be losing her mind completely. At Varun's house, Alia enters through his bedroom window. The first thing she asks him is if he told his parents about her father's affair, and he denies it. Then, she asks to talk to his mother about Sheila. She meets Bhairavi and tells her about the picture she found of Sheila. She wants to know the truth. Bhairavi isn't ashamed of her past and she's willing to tell Alia all about Sheila. She takes a photo album and shows them pictures of their time in college. She explains that it was a difficult period for women in India and they wanted to have equal rights. Sheila was the founder and president of the Society for Women's Equality. She was brave, fierce, and fought with everything she had. Bhairavi admired Sheila a lot. She truly was an inspiration for all the women in their college and they were close friends. One day, though, a woman was wrongly imprisoned and they wanted to charge her for a crime she didn't commit. Sheila protested against this and she was also arrested. She spent 4 nights in jail until her uncle bailed her out. By that time, bad rumors were circling about her, and her reputation was in shambles. After she was released, Bhairavi never heard from Sheila again. She doesn't know what happened to her. Alia is shocked by her mother's story. Never in a million years, she would have guessed that her fancy mother was a fighter for women's rights. It's preposterous. She starts crying after Bhairavi tells the story, feeling bad that she judged her mother so harshly. Something must have happened for her to change so much. She has to find out what. When her parents come back home, Alia is already waiting outside for them. Sheila lectures her about leaving the party so suddenly, but Alia wants to know about her. She asks Sheila about her past. Sheila is ashamed of her past. She tells Alia that isn't who she is anymore, and that she had to grow eventually. She wants Alia to grow up too, and stop living in a make-believe world. Alia expected her mother to be proud of her accomplishments, not embarrassed. She's more confused than ever about her behavior. When Sheila goes back home, Alia stays outside crying. She's frustrated and disappointed with her mother. She wants to know what happened to her after she left prison and why she changed. Most of all, she's frustrated with herself and that she's going down a path that she refuses to accept. She may judge everyone around her, but she's as fake as they are. She also smiles and pretends to like people to save face. She's tired of it and won't be doing it anymore. Before she goes to bed, Alia leaves her mother's picture with the society on the fridge for everyone to see. The next day, Alia is a new woman. She goes running and meets the 2 girls she hates. Instead of pretending she likes them, she tells them that they should be honest from then on. She tells them she can barely tell them apart and that they are boring. The girls call her a bad name, but Alia isn't offended. She's happy. Back at home, Ranjit asks Sheila for some beer, and she tells him to grab it himself. She wants him to find her picture on the fridge. She wants him to remember the woman he married. As she expected, he finds it and questions her about it. He isn't happy that Alia found it. For him, what Sheila did back when she was young was shameful. Sheila doesn't say anything to him and he throws the picture away. Moving on, Varun is working at the market when the 2 girls Alia hate comes in. They still have the picture they took of Alia and Raoul looking cozy together. They also talk about them as if they are going to get married at any time. Varun is hurt that Alia would betray him like that, not knowing that the girls were lying to him. In the meantime, Sheila watches Bhairavi while she works. She wants to approach her, but she doesn't know how. Not after the terrible way she treated her when they met again. When Bhairavi notices her, she quickly leaves. but the idea of talking to her again is still in her mind. In the evening, Alia visits Varun. He's mad at her and accuses her of being engaged with Raoul and not telling him. He thinks she's using him to have some fun before the wedding, and calls her a selfish, rich girl. He says that she's like everyone she loves complaining about and that she has no idea what it's like to work hard for things in life. Alia is offended and angry that he's calling her so many bad things. She doesn't understand why he's doing that. It's only when he mentions the two mean girls that she gets it. She tries talking to him and explaining that she has nothing with Raoul, but he doesn't want to hear it. Alia thanks him for the juice, the history lesson, and the intimacy. Then, she leaves. They are both sad after that. Alia really liked Varun, and she was excited to go to the same university as him. To make things worse, she can't bear her family any longer. There's another party, but this time she refuses to go. She asks Neha to keep her updated about what is happening at the party, and Neha replies that her parents are acting normal. Raoul arrives at the house to keep her company. They drink and talk about their lives. At some point, Raoul tries to kiss her, but she quickly deflects him. They decide that they are better off as friends. Their relationship would be too easy for Alia, exactly what their parents would want. She refuses to become another version of her mother. Raoul is cool with that. He doesn't take things too seriously, even though he likes Alia. The following day, Sheila is with her friends again, but she isn't paying attention to them. When they ask her opinion on something, she decides it's time for her to leave. On her way back home, she grabs Alia, who was running, and they go to Varun's house. Sheila finally found the courage to talk to Bhairavi after years. They go to their store and Sheila offers some food as a peace offering to Bhairavi. Then, she asks to talk to her in private. When the three of them are finally alone, Sheila tells them what happened the day she was released from prison. Her family was very angry at her for ruining their reputation. But her mother was the worst. She had a heart attack and almost passed away after finding out Sheila was arrested. With no other option, and feeling guilty, her family arranged a marriage for her with a young man who was going to the US to study. The man was Ranjit. They barely had time to get to know each other and they were already getting married. After the ceremony, Sheila's family repudiated her and she lost contact with them. In the US, while Ranjit studied to become a doctor, Sheila became a housewife. She was pregnant with Alia at the time, and completely alone. She tells Bhairavi that she thought about her a lot, but she couldn't call her. After everything that happened, she decided to start over. Bhairavi understands her, and she's happy that Sheila is fine now. Alia is crying, feeling bad for all the times she judged her mother not knowing what she gave up to have her. Before they leave, Sheila invites the Duttas to her wedding anniversary party again, this time as her guests. On their way back home, Sheila feels relieved that she could finally tell the truth. The next time her husband tells her he's going out to play golf, also known as meeting his mistress, Sheila confronts him. She says she's tired of being disrespected and she will no longer accept it. Ranjit is very rude and tells her that she wouldn't ask for a divorce. She wouldn't accept losing his money. Sheila takes a deep breath and wonders how they go to that point. She has no idea what she means to him. Ranjit replies that they have a respectful arrangement and that is enough. He wants to keep their family together. He tells her he's going to play golf because he has a big game on Sunday. Sheila tiredly reminds him that Sunday is their wedding anniversary party, the day he was planning on meeting his mistress. Ranjit is shocked that he forgot. He tries to fix his mistake by saying that they are going to celebrate and it's going to be great. Later on, Alia also asks her mother if they are still going to have the party, hopeful that her mother is going to grow back her backbone, but Sheila replies that they are. The party is huge, like always. Everyone pretends that they like each other. Both Varun and Raoul are there, and it's awkward for Alia to greet them. She watches her parents playing pretend in front of everyone, frustrated that her mother is going with the flow. It's painful to watch them celebrating a wedding that is a failure. When they are cutting the cake, someone asks Sheila when they have been married. She looks at Ayla as she replays that since she was 19. Ayla feels as if she's being suffocated, and quickly runs to her bedroom. She refuses to be like her mother. In fact, she wants to be like Sheila from her youth, the one who wasn't afraid of anything. When she comes back to the party, everyone is in shock. Alia shaves her head and walks proudly into the room. She tells her mother to let people talk. They are going to talk no matter what they do. Sheila's proud of Alia. It gives her the strength to take off her own mask. She grabs her husband's whiskey and toasts with Bhairavi. Then, she points at Lata and says they should share a drink since they already share a husband. Lata almost faints from the shock, and Ranjit wants the ground to open and swallow him whole. After Sheila's confession, everyone starts telling gossip about other people. Everyone there has an issue or something to be ashamed of. They're all consumed with appearances and false platitudes. One of the women being shamed points out Sheila's past and she says she's proud of it. She's tired of being stepped on because she's worth something. She isn't anyone's punch bag and she refuses to continue being a doormat. Before leaving, she turns to Ranjit and tells him to pack his bags and find a hotel to stay. They are done. Alia is very happy and excited that her mother finally put a stop to her toxic wedding. She deserves more. She only feels slightly bad when she watches her father leaving the room sad and alone. Some days pass and Alia's summer is almost over. Her siblings ask her if she thinks her parents are going to get divorced, but Alia doesn't know. She reassures them that no matter what, they will be fine. Later on, she goes to the Indian market to talk to Varun. She apologizes for her behavior, and he apologizes for calling her a bunch of names not knowing the truth. She tells him she's excited to see him at UCLA, and he kisses her. They don't talk about their relationship or if they are serious. Alia only wants to have fun and enjoy her youth. It's time for her to go back to college. This time, her mother is going to take her to the airport. Ranji, who is living in a hotel, arrives home to take her like he always does. He's sad when Sheila says that she's the one taking Alia. Alia and him get a moment alone and he says that he loves his family and he wants it back. He's willing to do anything to get Sheila back. Alia doesn't know if he's being honest or not, but she's not going to get involved in her parents' relationship anymore. Whatever happens, happens. They hug and say goodbye. When her mother drops her off at the airport, Sheila tells Alia to not be too quiet. They hug and part ways in an amicable way. Alia is ready to start her new semester, this time with her mother's picture as inspiration. She's ready to take on the world.